What's up, YouTube? Bobbles and Ball Cards back with another video. Um, just wanted to go live tonight, have a little bit of a discussion. Um, Most of all, I do want to thank everybody that has subscribed. Um, thank everybody that has posted on yesterday's video. I decided to do that one that way. People could watch the whole thing. I could type out all the instructions and everything. And just, that way there was no chat and everything else I was responding to. It got straight to the point, was explained so everybody knew what was going on. And so, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It means a lot, guys. What's up, Wolf? What's up, Michael? Any news about my cards? I got a reply back this evening. I'm hoping that my second order is shipped out this week. I do know they're busy. Um, I'm not trying to bug them about it. Um, like I said, I know they're busy. Just was trying to get a status because Peter had told me he thought they were going to be sent out last week, and they weren't. So, it's okay. They should be back. If they're not back this week, I would say no later than next week. And then I have my third order, which is the one I'm really excited about. Um, I I'd probably say it'd be back in just a guess, probably beginning of next month, middle of next month, something like that. So um, I hope everybody is doing good. We are almost to the middle of the week. Work hours have been a little long. By the way, Wolf, if you have Instagram, hit me up on there. Our Instagram is Bobbles and Ball Cards. Um, I heard you talking in Natsman's chat yesterday about hockey and everything, and we've only been into hockey for a couple months, but man, it is fun, and I'd like to actually get some more information about it. So no, I did not talk to Peter today. Um, he told me that he's really busy right now, so he's kind of it's hard for him to get back with me on anything. Um, but when I talked to him Saturday, he said, "Oh, you're Newman." Okay. All right, cool. He said that he was hoping they'd have it signed by Wednesday, but I haven't bothered him at all. I was just trying to reach out to somebody to just get a status update, and also I made a suggestion to them for everybody. Um, when you look at the status tracker on there, they kind of it only has that your cards have been submitted and then graded and then on their way back. And when I sent the email, I kind of put a suggestion in there. Maybe they should add a step that says encapsulated and then another one that says scanned, because I know those two steps probably take some of the longest time. So I think it would be cool if they just added a couple more steps to it to kind of give everybody, like I know myself, when I see graded, I'm thinking, all right, awesome, I'm gonna get them back anytime. But I do realize the next steps in the process do take time, and the graders, like I said in a previous video, they've been doing this for years, and they can probably get the grades done fairly quickly. It's the processing part of it that's behind the scenes that we don't really think about. We all think about, well, how can they hire new people and train people to grade the cards? But really, getting the orders opened and checked and processed and encapsulated and scanned and the slips printed and packaged and shipping labels and all that stuff, that's where a lot of the backup can happen. The graders, they sit there with a magnifying glass with a light and everything. They look at the cards. It probably only takes them, a few seconds per card. If realistically, I mean, we know what it's like when we inspect our cards before we send them. So it doesn't take that long to actually grade the card. It's more so, I think, the steps of processing everything else that where things can get backed up. And that's what Peter said he was looking to hire people for. So I'm hoping once all that happens that they start getting back into their routine and make the adjustments and everything. But I do think that on the submission tracker, they should probably add a couple more things on there so we're not just seeing, okay, they're submitted, okay, they're graded, but then we're in limbo and don't know how long before they're actually going to be shipped back. So it's just a suggestion to them. I do not have a Crosby. I have an Alex Ovechkin, though. So, yeah, McDavid is one that we would love to get. We just started a couple months ago, so we have like all of the 19-20 guys. We have a lot of the 18-19 guys. And then I've bought a lot of singles, but anyway, Michael, I honestly don't know if they post the grades, but they'll have the seller ready images, and when they post those, you'll actually be able to see the card and the slip and everything. So submitted, actually, from what I've noticed on mine, when it says submitted, it means they've actually opened the package and verified it. No, I'll show you guys real quick. I'll go over here to my orders. Do you see right? Oh, let me pull up my other screen and pull out my chat. Give me 1 second, guys. Let's see, pop out chat so y'all can see this. Okay, where is it at? Right here. If y'all see up here, see how that says graded? This is actually the step that when you actually go into here and go to my submissions right here, this step would say processing. The processing step is actually the graded set. So, all right, guys. What I wanted to go over today, just a little bit of a topic. I actually kind of I've talked to a couple people regarding this recently. I talked to Chili's actually last night about it. I seen he jumped on here. What's up, Chili's? I talked to Level Jumper on Reddit. I'm not sure what his YouTube name is. I'm actually making a list. When you guys comment and put like your Instagram name and all that, and I'm making the list, I'm actually putting it into a file, like a spreadsheet. That way I can keep track of who is who on Instagram and on here and everything else. Since some of you guys have the same name, but some of you don't. So, what's up, Whiskey? I do know him. That's the Bear Fighter. Really awesome dude. Today's yeah, PSA all the way, No, I want to talk about today. We noticed that recently there's a big like uprise in the market, right? And people discuss all the time about modern cards and are modern cards in a bubble. But what I want to reach out to you guys about, and I don't talk a lot of football on here, but I was discussing with Level Jumper on Reddit the other day, And he messaged me, and he's more of a basketball guy. And he was like, hey, man, I think I just grabbed a really good deal on a Lamar Jackson lot. And I was like, really? And he told me the price, and I was like, man, that sounds kind of high. Well, he made it aware to me that Lamar Jackson's prisms are now up to like 80, almost $100 raw. Well, when I bought mine, it was like in the middle of Lamar's hype last year, and I got it for like $50. So, and then Lamar dipped down a little bit when they got knocked out of the playoffs and this and that. So it really shocked me. So I got to looking further into football cards, and it's kind of like other sports. The modern cards are thriving fairly well. Obviously basketball numbers are astronomical. Baseball, you got Acuna and Soto and Alonso and Tatis and Keston Hero and all them guys that are really thriving. And, obviously you could still consider Mike Trout a modern card because he's a current player. He's not that old. Um, but then you look at the vintage or the older, I don't want to say vintage, I'm going to say the older side of the cards. And I was thinking, everybody's attributing basketball with like Jordan and Pippen and Rodman with their prices going up to the Last Dance documentary. And I'm sure that has a little bit of the I'm sure it has a little bit of the influence on their prices rising. But I'm just going to tell you guys, and I'm kicking myself in the butt right now, because back in February when I bought my LeBron rookie and I bought the Alex Ovechkin Young Guns rookie, I was looking at guys, well, and obviously take into account when Kobe passed away, that pushed his prices up. So I had bought some Kobe's at a fairly reasonable price, and I was thinking, I really miss having the cards that got me into collecting to begin with. I miss having my Shaq rookies. I miss having, Allen Iverson. And then you go into football, and, we all, yeah, whether you were a Cowboy fan or not, Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, Brett Favre, Jerry Rice, Dan Marino, all those guys from like the mid 80s time period and then going into like the mid 90s, I miss having those cards. And I've bought some here or there, and I kept saying, no, I'll hold off. I bought like one or two Shaqs. I've bought a few Allen Iverson. Um, I bought the LeBron, he's 03. I bought some Kobe's. But man, I'm telling you, if you really look at the market for those rookies, now I can't speak for everybody, but I really think right now the larger market or the larger age group that's into cards right now is probably in the 30 to 40-year-old time frame. If I had to guess, maybe 45, and you could go to like 25 to 45, but I would say the big demographic of who is buying cards today, who's moving money, who's buying, selling, everything, is in that 30 to 40-year-old range. Okay? So, if you look back on that and say, like, I'll be 40 in July, okay? And I've told y'all before, I started collecting probably in 86 to 88 when I was a kid. I was 6 to 8 years old. So take and go back, we'll say 20 years or 25 years. That puts you right at the 1995 mark. If you go back to the higher end of that spectrum and go back 30 years, then you're right there at 1990. Now, it's I, and this is where I don't get into this a lot, with speculation or my opinion. But what I feel is, and I'm going to give you my example, okay? I buy a lot of modern cards because it's what people want right now. But I think a lot of people are having the same mindset to me or that I'm having, that the modern cards, just why are people paying $600 for Zion Williamson when he's played 19 games? But yet you got guys like Allen Iverson, who was a legend, in his time, crossing people up and, has that famous quote, practice. We talking about practice. You got Barkley. You got Pippen, even though he was Jordan's wingman. Great player. You had Ewing, Drexler, Isaiah Thomas, who's made out to be the bad boy in this documentary. All of that in basketball. These guys were greats. Zion has played 19 games. Everybody's talking LeBron's prices are getting crazy. LeBron has been nothing but great. Kobe, great. Shaq, great. And I think a lot of people are thinking the same way I am of these prices are astronomical. People are paying $100 for a blaster that costs $20 because they can't find it on the shelf in the store. They're getting bought in on this hype of Zion and Luka and Trae Young and Ja Morant and everything else. And then we're sitting thinking, man, I remember when I first started collecting, wanting Emmitt Smith's rookie card or, Shaq, the Shaq Beam team. But we couldn't get it because we were kids and we didn't have the allowance or the funds to go to the card shop and get it. And we never was able to pull it or whatever. So I think a lot of people in this 30 to 40-year-old demographic are going back to what brought them into the hobby to begin with, because I told y'all, I'm not going to search for Mosaic. I just am not going to do it. If it's there when I'm in a store, fine. If not, I'm not going to do it. I ran around looking for Prism. I ran around looking for Optic. I'm not going to keep doing that. So I'm really interested in buying the guys that got me into the hobby to begin with. And that goes for baseball. You had Tony Gwynn's rookie. You had Ryan Sandberg's rookie. You had Cal Ripken's rookie. Who didn't want a Cal Ripken Jr. rookie card when we watched that man break Lou Gehrig's record? I mean, who didn't want it? You had Bo Jackson back in that time. Deion Sanders. You had all of these great players that we watched and wanted their cards growing up, but we couldn't afford them. And then, a few years ago, we get back into the hobby, and I'm talking before the hype of, Luka and Zion or Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. I'm talking, and before the Acuna hype, I'm talking like 2016, 2017. Even Mike Trout's rookie wasn't $1,500 plus in a PSA 10. So when we looked at these older guys from our childhood and we seen, they're $1 and $2, we didn't pay no mind to it because we were like, all right, I'm not going to spend my money on that because there's no money to be invested there. So we started buying the 18 update to pull Acuna and Soto. We were going after the first Bowmans of these guys that were hyped. We were going after, Fernando Tatis and Keston Hiura and all that. And baseball is a lot easier to obtain because you're not getting, aside from Mike Trout or the bat down, you're not getting into the $1,000 margin. But then you go over to basketball, you can't, a raw Zion is a couple $100. Now, we could take that couple hundred and invest in a guy that's played 19 games, or we can go back to when we started collecting, what made us fall in love with cards to begin with, and spend that few hundred and get several people's cards. But what that's doing is that's making them cards become more valuable. And I'm going to tell you, I looked back in February at Shaq's Beam Team. Shaq was my favorite player growing up, in that time period, until he went to the Lakers, and that crushed me. And then I started rooting for Kevin Garnett and Stephon Marbury. But I wanted Shaq's Beam Team, and I didn't pull the trigger in February. I'm going to tell you, that card was about $40 in February. It's $150 now, raw. I probably could have gotten a nice PSA 9, maybe even a 10. And I'm throwing PSA numbers out, even though, just bear with me. SGC, it's harder to find the pricing comparisons on these cards, so I am using PSA in this video. Don't pay it no mind as, oh, he's flipped the switch and talking PSA, because that's not the case. The older cards like that, I can't find a lot of pricing comparisons to give you guys good numbers on. But I probably could have gotten a 9 or even maybe a 10 of that Beam Team back in February for what it's selling for raw today. And I made a mistake. But where I'm seeing this that you could still possibly get into, hush whiskey, I am not a trader. I am trying to give you guys accurate information. Where I'm seeing that you potentially, it's starting to rise up, but it's not out of hand quite yet. And that's football. I don't talk a lot of football, but I am going to talk some football numbers tonight. And from what I looked up, you can still pick up some really nice cards at a very reasonable price, especially raw. Now, you're not going to get a 10 on everything, but guess what, guys? If we're wanting to add back to our collections from cards that we had from what got us into the hobby, we can buy raw. And if we get a 9, so be it. If we get an 8, so be it. It's that nostalgia, and you're still going to get a price increase. So, I'm going to throw some numbers out there. And I talked to Chili's, and he messaged me, I think it was last night after I went to bed, that he actually grabbed a 9 on this guy at a really good price. But I'm going to talk about Emmitt Smith first off. And Griffey has been going up a lot. But I'm going to show you something here when I'm reading these numbers as to why that's attributing to more into other sports as well. It's not just Jordan. It's not just Pippen. It's not just Rodman. It's not just the Last Dance documentary. This is you're going to see it across all sports, because I really think that demographic I was talking about is getting back to the roots and realizing, if I can spend $1,000, if people are spending $1,000 on a guy that ain't even sniffing retirement yet, then why ain't I going to spend money on somebody that I watched growing up that got me into this hobby, who is a legend in the Hall of Fame and a record holder? Who knows if any of these young guys are ever going to break records? So, I want to talk about Emmitt Smith, because he is the all-time leading rusher. I looked up Frank Gore's numbers last night. Frank is right around 3,000 yards away from Emmitt. Is it possible he does it? Maybe, but who knows? We all know running backs aren't what they used to be. But anyway, I want to talk about Emmitt Smith. And I'm going to quote numbers from March on him, and I'm going to go over his Topps rookie card, his Fleer rookie card, and his Score rookie card, just those three. But this is actually trending between all of them, like the action packed. I have one in a stack over here somewhere. I mean, this card, I put it in a stack And I didn't even think it would ever have any value to it. But it's actually trending up. Anyway, I got a bunch of cards in a stack over here. But in March, and I'm going to throw out these numbers, a PSA 10 of his Topps rookie in March was around $32. 32 bucks. His Fleer was right around 40 to 50 in a 10 in March. But the score supplemental, the big boy card, it was $350 to $400. Okay? If you went to buy one today, his Topps card is now up to pretty much average of $100. His Fleer is also in a 10 at around $100. But the score supplemental is up over $1,000 since March. And I'm not just talking beginning of March. I was looking like middle to end of March. So we are May, middle of May. So you got pretty much a month and a half to 2 month time frame. These cards have more than doubled in price. And that's on Emmitt Smith, okay? Let's look at Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders, I went with his score rookie, the 89 score. $400 in March in a 10. It's now between $700 and $800. Again, pretty much doubled since March. No Pikachu cards, Cyber. I don't have very many Pokemon. I don't know much about them. My son does. If I could get his little butt to help me, that would be something maybe. I want to talk about Jerry Rice, the man I looked up to when I played football in high school and in my youth. I loved Jerry Rice. I wore number 80 in high school. I played wide receiver. Absolutely looked up to the man. Always wanted his 86 Topps rookie card. I don't have PSA 10 numbers because there's just not many of them to be found on the market. But his PSA 9 in March was between $600 and $650. Today, it's between $1,500 and $1,800. So, a 3-time increase on Jerry Rice's 86 Topps rookie. These are graded. You can still find some deals raw, but please take caution when you're buying raw because there are a lot of reprints out there. My honest opinion, if you want to go back and get cards from your youth that got you into the hobby that you maybe wanted when you were younger and you never got, my best suggestion would be picking up a very nice copy that's an 8 or a 9. Obviously, in Jerry Rice's case, I would go the 8 route because an 8 you can pick it up between $130 and $150, whereas, like I said, a 9 is between $1,500 and $1,800. But remember, buy the card and not the grade, okay? Don't worry about it having an 8 on there because when that 9 or that 10 goes up, that 8's going to start moving up with it. So don't worry about that. Now, another thing, and I'm not ignoring chat, guys. I'm just gonna talk about this, and then we'll go back through and kind of discuss some of the stuff y'all are talking about. I thought my wife was getting on, and she normally chats with you guys, but I think she's watching a show, so I'll let her pass. I want to talk about the current football market, and one reason that I don't talk a lot about it. In 2017, when me and my wife got pretty heavily back into sports cards, I was actually buying football. I didn't really buy any baseball. I was not into basketball at all at that time. I bought football. And I quickly realized that unless you hit a top rookie quarterback, you are not going to get hardly any value. And that is a very, very, very thin line when you're talking a top rookie quarterback. And I'm going to give you an example. Josh Rosen was the number one pick. That dude was hot his rookie year. Like when products come out, Josh Rosen was great to hit. You know, you had Sam Darnold and Josh Allen. But people wanted Josh Rosen. Well, look what happened with Josh Rosen. He's bounced to the Dolphins and it was no good. You know, you have the Browns, who were in a quarterback. Every year, it seemed like they were drafting a new quarterback. He was going to be the next big thing, the next great quarterback. None of them panned out. Baker Mayfield, he's got talent, but that team they stacked that team last year and they couldn't win. And he was in the Lamar Jackson that rookie class. Lamar has proven he's a damn good quarterback. But even this past year, you had Kyler Murray, Gardner Minshew, Daniel Jones, the guy from Carolina, his name's slipping, Will Greer. You had Dwayne Haskins, who they were talking about. The Redskins were thinking about drafting Tua. That's what I'm talking about. Personally, I think Dwayne Haskins could potentially be a good quarterback. But these quarterbacks are getting on teams that have no talent around them. They're not able to produce because they have no talent around them. So year after year, you're getting these quarterbacks drafted who come in, they're expected to be miracle workers, but they have nothing to work with. And so the teams are like, oh, well, we lost again. We get another first, number one pick. Let's draft another quarterback. That's why this year, I know Joe Burrows. I know he's very talented. I know he was the top pick, but he's going to Cincinnati. Who really has won in Cincinnati? Tua is going to the Dolphins. What are the Dolphins? The best thing that happened to the Dolphins is Tom Brady left New England. I mean, that's the only win that I can see them having. I think out of this class right now, in my personal opinion, Herbert would be the best option because he is going to San Diego and he does have options around him. But I can guarantee you Burrow's prices are going to be outrageous and Tua's prices are going to be outrageous. And Herbert, he'll be like that middle line guy until, if he gets the chance to play and starts proving that he's going to be good. That's why I don't talk a lot about modern football. Running backs, outside of McCaffrey, Kamara had a couple of good years. Saquon had a great rookie year. But as far as running backs, I mean, I feel bad for the guys. Wide receivers, look at A.J. Brown. He had a heck of a year. But receivers don't get a whole lot of hobby respect either. It's good if you're a collector, but it's bad if you're buying and trying to collect and sell. If you're just collecting the cards, then great. You can pick up some great value. Like, I'm a Ravens fan, and Hollywood Brown, I love watching that dude. That dude is got heart, he's got talent, and his cards are fairly cheap. So I actually like Hollywood Brown. But my point with today's modern quarterbacks, and to go back on the older cards of players from when we were growing up, we all know Dan Marino. We all know John Elway. We all know Joe Montana. We all know Steve Young. We all know those guys, and we expect their prices to go up. I was very surprised. I picked a quarterback that I was very curious on. And this isn't even technically this guy's rookie card. But I looked up Jim Kelly, his Topps rookie, 87 Topps, I believe it is. It's 85 or 87. Anyway, I looked up the Topps rookie card, not the USFL, his NFL Topps rookie card. In April, now I didn't even go back to March on this one, I went to April. His PSA 10 was $135. Today's price, $250. So again, even Jim freaking Kelly, 4-time in a row Super Bowl losing quarterback, Jim Kelly, has doubled in price. That alone should tell you guys something. Yes, Emmett is one of, the all-time leading rusher. Barry, amazing, lightning, funnest player, I think, aside from maybe Dion to watch back in the day. Jerry Rice, all-time legend wide receiver. But Jim freaking Kelly has doubled in price, guys. That alone should tell you that 80s years, the 90s years, it's going to progress into the early 2000s. Those cards are starting to rise. It's happened in basketball, baseball. You go back, you can go back vintage times in there, but even people are now wanting the 89 Griffies, as someone said. The Tony Gwynns, the Wade Boggs, the Ryan Sandbergs, all of those cards are starting to go up. And I really think it's the demographic age. The modern market is going to continue to be pushed because you have a lot of investors coming into the hobby and they're buying what's hot. But I think people like myself, and I'm sure many, many of you, have looked back on what brought us into the hobby in the first place and have thought, man, I miss having that card. Or, man, I always wanted that as a kid. Or, man, I wish I had saved my lunch money as a teenager to buy that. Or, man, I wish I didn't trade that card to my buddy. And we've wanted to go back now that we're financially capable of affording some of those cards that we could never have as a kid, and we're picking them up. So, I never talk about football. Today, I wanted to give y'all football as a topic, and I really think some of these older cards are good pickups, and some of the newer cards are too, but I would be careful. I know I discussed this before, why I buy so much paper rookies. There's one thing that I have thought about, like my Zion back there, I have his Don Russ paper rookie in a 10. I'm not worried about owning his Prism, because if the modern market does ever collapse or go down or bubble burst or whatever, I have a lot less at risk in owning a Don Russ paper rookie that has potential to rise, but less loss if it ever goes down, because I didn't invest. I think I bought 2 of them Don Russ Zions for $16. So that's one reason that I invest and I buy so much of the base paper cards, because they do have potential to rise, but if the modern market ever crashes, they have less risk of loss. So anyway, let me get on here and see what you guys are chatting about. Somebody said the Bo Jackson football baseball card is still their favorite. I actually pulled that card out of one of them junk little mixer box things from Target that gives you like the old junk wax packs. It had a score pack in there, and I pulled it. Couldn't believe it. I was so excited. I know at the time it was only like a $3 card when I pulled it, but hey, I was excited. Let's see. Griffey, y'all were talking about. Griffey is going up. I just I want to show y'all something. Somebody mentioned the Jordan Upper Deck card. I want to show y'all something because I don't know how many of you know about this or realize this. Let me go over here. Pull my chat back up. Let's see. Okay, so I see a lot of people buying this Jordan, okay? And I see a lot of people listing it as rookie card. And I mean, look at the prices on these. Like that's a 9. It went for almost $100. There was 4 of them. They went for roughly $26 a piece. But the 91 isn't the rookie card, guys. This was actually a promo card that Upper Deck put into the 91 packs. If you read the back of the card, Jordan attended batting practice with the Chicago White Sox. Upper Deck shot a photo. Obviously, Jordan's always been Upper Deck. You know, well, not always, but he signed a deal with Upper Deck. He was Upper Deck exclusive. They snapped this shot. They made a promo card. It was almost like they were predicting the future, honestly. But this is not his rookie card. If y'all watched the documentary, he did not play baseball in 1991. The rookie cards are actually these from 1994. Okay? And I want to show y'all something with these. Like this one, you see how this went for $9? This is the Star Rookie. Star Rookies are pretty collectible when it comes to Upper Deck rookie cards. But if you see if it'll let me. If you see here, this is blank right here, okay? But then let's look at this one because it can be very confusing if you don't know this. See how this says Electric Diamond on it? But if you're just looking at this card and don't know what you're looking for, you're not going to know the difference. Right here, this little foil stamping where it says Electric Diamond, that's the more valuable one. You can find these pretty cheap sometimes because people don't know what they have. The Electric Diamond is the more valuable one. These silver signatures, if I'm not mistaken, there's some that are gold signature. Those are pretty good ones to look for. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about that because I've seen someone talk about the Jordan baseball. The 91 Upper Deck is not his rookie card. It was a promo card of him at batting practice. Now, if people are wanting to consider it his rookie because that's the first card he had, then okay. But he did not play baseball in 1991. Okay? So I just wanted to show you all that because I was thinking about it the other night. And while I was on the topic and somebody posted about that. Let's see here. Just looking back through all of y'all's comments. Yeah, Chili, you brought up a point that I meant to talk about too. Football also, the prices I think are going to kind of go up more too. Because football has been the only sport that has not yet been affected by COVID-19. They are still on track to start their season on time. Yes, they had to have the draft remotely and all of that. But as far as the season itself, it has not been affected, and they are discussing that it won't be. And that could actually bring a lot of fans. We've been without sports for a while. But the other side to that is, I'm curious if basketball starts back up, hockey starts back up, and baseball starts in July. And then football is going to be wanting to get into camps and preseason and all that in August. Are the sports going to run together? And could it take away from the focus of the beginning of the football season? So it could have a positive, but if all the others, like if we have 4 sports going on at the same time, that is going to be pretty awesome. But it could affect football a little bit. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Let's see here. Wolf, you were talking about selling hockey cards. I need to talk to you about selling hockey cards because I got a bunch and I'm confused on how to move them. Luis Robert, yeah, he's going to be in a weird situation. I do think the kid has talent, but I think people are paying way too much on his opening day card. Peterson, you bring up Peterson sniffing the record. I'm going to tell you guys, I don't know if many of you guys have watched Elite Co 3 or if all of you have watched Elite Co 3, but I'm going to tell you right now, that dude is smart. I know he's a stock investor. I completely understand that. But when he comes to sports cards, that dude has just got so much knowledge to him. And I don't know if it's just knowledge or if he just enjoys the hobby so much. Because if you'll watch his channel, yeah, sure. He buys the bat down Acuñas and he's had some Lucas, I believe, on there and stuff like that. But that dude submits Edgerrin James, Frank Gore, Randy Moss, just the guys from when we were kids. And, it amazes me to every time, like Michael Vick. I know Vick had his bad stain on his reputation, but man, Vic was amazing. And, he picks up and out of nowhere, he'll have like, what is it, the SPX or the SP Authentic RPA and everything. And I'm like, why haven't I thought of this? That guy, he is awesome. I mean, I understand he's been grading for a very long time, but I love to sit and watch his submissions or his like sales or his mail days or whatever, because he always is surprising with what he's going to pop out with that he's either had graded or he's picked up or what he's been able to sell. I mean, Breeze, Brady, Rogers, the dude, like, he dabbles in the modern, but man, he picks up some killer, vintage and just the 80, 90 period, the early 2000s. I love watching his submission reveals and everything, just because it kind of brings me back to cards I wish I had, from those days and everything. So, but Peter, you mentioned Peterson. He grades Peterson all the time. Let's see. I do think Herbert could be a sleeper. And you are dead on, Amari. People don't realize Troy Aikman and Peyton Manning, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, their rookie year they both went 1-15. If a quarterback goes 1-15 today, especially as a rookie, that team's drafting another quarterback in the next draft. They're not saying, oh, they'll get the hang of it, or, oh, we're going to entrust in them. They're in the draft picking up the next big quarterback. Manning and Aikman, multiple Super Bowl winners, Hall of Famers, they started their career 1-15. And people don't realize that. Jalen Hurts with Philly. Man, Philly had Carson Wentz. That's another example. Why are you worrying about Jalen Hurts? You had Carson Wentz. You had Nick Foles and you let him walk, but Carson Wentz was the big thing. And now, we got somebody talking about Jalen Hurts. It's like nobody's having these long careers anymore that are outstanding. Let's see what else we got going on. 2% of people know who France Harkington is. Yep, another one. Great quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings. Rip, if it was only that easy, man. The Browns are supposed to be good every year. Connor, I actually think all the sports will go back up in value, or go up in value, simply because, let's face it, I know a lot of people have been scared of the '08 sports card market crash, but you have to remember in 2008, sports were still being played and the cards dropped. Um, this situation is completely different. Yes, the economy is kind of really screwed up right now, but as far as, comparing '08 to today, I mean, people sit and say, well, everybody's buying cards because they're sitting at home bored. Okay, that could be some of it, but what do you explain all of the months prior to COVID blowing up and happening? I mean, people were still spending thousands of dollars on cards. So you can't say, oh, well, they were sitting at home bored. Um, and right now, everybody is itching to watch sports. You got the hockey playoffs, the basketball playoffs will be coming. You'd have baseball starting their season and then football starting their season. So sports are going to be huge once they get started back up. I don't see a crash. If the prices are increasing through all of this crap that's going on in the world, I don't see a crash. Um, I'm a little skeptical, or I ain't even gonna try to say it again. I'm a little scared of the modern market in maybe the next 3 to 5 years. I don't know how that will play out. I guess it's gonna more to see how Zion does, or what I'm gonna be real curious about is when Bronny makes the NBA. Will people forget about Zion and jump to Bronny? I think that's going to be very interesting. But there will always be the next big guy, and so it'll be just curious to see how the others play out. If you want my personal opinion of if I was going to invest money in a modern player, I would put money in Giannis and Luka. Those two I can see having long, successful careers. Giannis already has an MVP, possibly two after this season. I can see both of them competing for championships, and they have all around games. So, as far as this modern class or modern group of players, I would have to say Giannis and Luka over Zion if I was going to spend that much money on somebody. But that's just my personal opinion. Um, but anyway, does anybody else have anything else they would like to discuss? Yeah, Chili's, I swear that dude, he must have like, I don't know if it's, what is it? Horoscopes or something, man. He must have sports card horoscopes because that dude is awesome. I don't even. I think he just buys it because he loves the hobby. Honestly, I think he gets these guys because he loves the hobby, and it's just playing out to work in his benefit, man. How you doing, Rod? How are you doing this evening? Relics versus autos. Connor, if you've watched my videos, I don't really buy cards to get either one. My personal collection, I I'll show you guys my collection one day. Um my especially my Nationals collection, I'll show you guys one day. Um but I buy cards for my PC, but as far as buying to sell cards or whatever to pull them, I'm not worried about that. Um, I I I enjoy collecting just the standard rookie cards, whether it's Topps Chrome or Prism in basketball, or just basic Topps paper cards or Donruss in football and basketball. I enjoy just the basic rookie cards. That's what I feel I can get my best money out of versus spending. Um, and it's a staple of the hobby. Like again, in my age group in '86, we didn't pull autos and relics. We pulled rookies, and I still enjoy that today. One reason I love just the basic Donruss is it has that rated rookie logo on there. I love that. So, how much is YouTube and social media driving the prices in cars? Now you have an outlet to show them off. Patrick, I'm gonna say it does have an impact, but and without calling out individual channels or names, there are people on social media and YouTube and Facebook and everything else that have very, very large followings. And you'll see things change if they show off a card or if they talk about a card. It's almost like some of these people, if they just say a name, the prices are going to go up. You know, personally, myself, yeah, I sat here and told you guys, I read off Emmitt Smith and Barry Sanders and Jerry Rice and Jim Kelly, okay? I'm not sitting here giving out names to drive the prices of cards up. Like just this video, for example, I was giving examples by using these players that people could relate to talk about how the market is increasing. I'm not telling you guys to go out and buy Emmitt Smith or Barry Sanders or Jerry Rice or Jim Kelly. Um, People ask me all the time who I invest in or who do you suggest investing in. And I'll give, like, especially, for example, Chili's messaged me last night. If somebody messages me on Instagram, it says, hey, what's your opinion on so and so? As a discussion, I will give my opinion. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys, even in that rookie card video I did about Topps Update, I was showing based off of statistics of those guys and how they performed. I wasn't talking the market is going to just massively switch to their level. I was saying I felt those guys were undervalued based on their statistics and, in case of an increase, maybe, pick some up because they might have an increase if they continue playing at the level they did. I am not Nostradamus. I am not a fortune teller. I just sat here tonight and told you guys that I was looking at cards in February that I wanted to add to my collection and I didn't buy. Honestly, my wife gets on me all the time because I'll say, I think I should pick this up, or I would like to have this, or it'd be cool to add this to the collection. And next thing I know, 2 months later, the price has gone up. And so I am guilty myself of not picking things up, I don't want to tell you guys to go out there and buy a specific player or tell you that so and so is you should go buy him all up, because I don't even do that myself. In my mind, I might say, man, I should be buying this guy. I have a feeling I should be buying him. There she is to confirm with you guys. I'll give you guys a perfect example of how bad of it I am. Actually, I'll give you two examples. I sold Bo Bichette's 2016 first Bowman auto for $20. Okay? Within a month and a half, that card went up to over $100. On the flip side of that, I am a Nationals fan, and I passed on Juan Soto first Bowman autos, knowing who the kid was, when they were $50. He hit the majors. He started flying through the minors. What are they at now? Over 1,000? But I did not buy a single one because I question myself. I question of whether my gut or my feeling of somebody increasing is right. I make mistakes all the time of not buying. I don't want to suggest anything to you guys and be wrong. And I like showing numbers. I like giving you guys useful information. Just like tonight, I'm not telling you to go out and buy Barry Sanders or Emmitt Smith or anything like that. But I wanted to give an example and just put it out there. Late 80s, 90s rookies are starting to see increases. And there's many players from those years that you could potentially buy. But I don't want to say, hey, go out and buy this specific guy. He's going to be the next Mike Trout. I'm not going to do that, guys. If y'all want me to talk about things like that, I can discuss things, but I don't want to be the one to tell you, go do something, and then if the guy crashes on his face and his prices plummet, I would feel very bad. I don't want to do that. But to answer your question in a short form, yes, I do think some people do influence the market. Rip and Flip, Alico 3 does professionally grade. He's graded with PSA for like 10 years. He has since started using SGC. Yeah, I'll use that question as an example. Chili's asked me my feelings on Nolan Arenado, and Chili's can confirm. I came right out and told him I'm not big on Nolan Arenado, and for one, I'm a Nationals fan, okay? But if you look at other players, Anthony Rendon is just as good, if not better, than Nolan Arenado. And his prices, they increased a tad bit this past year, but not to what I feel they should be at. So, Chris Bryant, he was hyped after the Cubs won the World Series. His prices have kind of panned out, but he's also on the Cubs, who have a huge market and fan base. Third baseman, for some reason, I just don't feel get much value no matter how good they are. Anthony Rendon legitimately could have been the MVP of the National League. The dude's numbers were outstanding. But you can pick his rookies up for a couple bucks. So I don't feel that Nolan Arenado's prices should be what they're at. But that's coming from a Nats fan who knows how good Anthony Rendon is. and his prices don't reflect anywhere near what Nolan Arenado's prices reflect. So Patrick, the big thing right now is, like I was saying, there's channels and people out there that discuss players to invest in, and you hear a lot of times people will say, "I don't like comparing sports cards to the stock market," and that is a fair statement. However, they both kind of work hand in hand because they both have price increases and price decreases. When the market's hot, stocks go up. When a player's hot, his prices go up. One thing though, on these investor platforms, you have a lot of new people to the hobby today that may not have ever seen a sports card in their life. But what they do have is a lot of money. So they'll go around looking and, I'll throw his name out there because everybody knows who he is, Gary Vee. They might watch him for other things because he's an entrepreneur. They might watch somebody for stock advice who then starts talking about sports cards. And so this new person to the hobby doesn't have a clue about sports or cards or anything, but they'll listen to this person that is giving advice on who to buy, and they'll immediately say, okay, that's who I'm going to buy. And they've got the money to go buy up no matter what the price is. They don't know if they're paying $300 more than market value because they don't care. They see the card available. I'm sure they're not going on comparing prices or flipping the eBay thing from high to low or, whatever. They're seeing, okay, there's a Zion rookie. Click buy. There's a Luka rookie. Click buy. Now granted, it's not just those people because the whole market influences it, but I think it does have some of the influence to it because it's just weird that until Luka started really playing good in what was it, November, I believe, his cards weren't astronomical. And then when his started blowing up, that seemed to push everything else out the water. So, but people listen to him, Patrick. I mean, and that's one reason why I mentioned Elite Co because he is a stock, he's a stockbroker as his career or whatever, but he loves sports cards and he'll give his opinion. Hey, I think this card, like the LeBron star rookie, he's like, I think this is a good buy, but he's not out there like trying to influence people or influence the market. That dude, he grades all sorts of cards and I love watching his channel. I think the guy, I damn near declare him a genius, really. I mean, he's awesome. That's kind of what I do, Rod. I like looking at statistics. I'm a big statistics guy. I always have been. If I see a guy that I feel is playing well, especially me and my wife go to the minor leagues all the time, and I'll sit there and watch guys play, and you can ask her. I'll tell her if I don't feel somebody is as good as they're hyped as. I'll call it right off right now, and she can verify. I think she's still in chat. I told her I didn't think Carter Keyboom was that good. I don't think Luis Garcia, who is one of the Nationals' top prospects, I don't think he's that good. Um, they're up in our system, but you know, their their talent level just seems to be lacking. Um, they like Keyboom, he's got a good bat, but his defense isn't there. The Nationals keep moving him around. They don't know what position to play him at. Luis Garcia, he seems, um, I don't know, he just doesn't seem to have confidence really. He'll look good at one point, and then the next he just kind of falls off. I know these guys are still young, and there's time for them to improve, but it 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 kind of happens. No, no, Patrick. That's what I was saying. He's different because he is a stockbroker as his career, but he's not the stock sports card platform that most of these guys are. He's actually really awesome. Exactly, Amari. That's where I'm at. And I, current market, I don't even look at like high value. I look at potential for increase. If I see a guy, just I love baseball, and like I talked about Tommy Edman, that dude had great stats, but you could pick him up for little to nothing. So, and he plays on the Cardinals, so that was a big thing. The problem with Kristen Stewart though is Connor is he's on a team that potentially doesn't have a big market. I mean, the Tigers. I mean, look at Miguel Cabrera. He's not exactly the most popular guy because he's in Detroit, but he's been a good player. Chili's Juan Soto is a freaking beast, and that kid is. He may look cocky up there in that box when he's doing the shuffle and everything, but he is so humble. I mean, he has confidence, but he is humble. And I love that about him. And something that many people may not even realize about Juan Soto, last year when they were talking about his defense and how he struggled on defense and this, that, and the other, Juan Soto was a right fielder in the minors. He got thrown to the majors because he destroyed the minor leagues in 2018. They brought him up. Well, they put him in left field because Bryce Harper was over in right field. And then when Eaton came back, he couldn't run in left field, so they put Eaton in right field. Soto had to adjust to being a left fielder. He was a right fielder his entire time in the minors. So that's huge news, too. I mean, I know a lot of people don't know that, but again, being a Nats fan and being that we keep up with all the minor league teams, Soto was actually a right fielder. He never played left field in the minors. Amari, I I need to get some Rutledge cards. I was so mad that they weren't in 2019 Bowman. It looks like they're going to be in this year's, but you are the first person I've heard talk about him. But when they drafted that kid and compared him to Max Scherzer, I told my wife I we're getting some because pitchers. I don't invest in pitchers, but he definitely did look really really good. Richard, Alico talks a lot about Randy Moss because that was his favorite player as a kid. That's another reason why I say it's awesome what he does because he goes back to his roots of what got him into collecting. And he has held true to that to this day. Randy Moss is his all time favorite player, and he says it all the time. Hey Patrick, I know exactly what you're saying, and if you have Instagram and want to hit me up on there, I will discuss that topic more. I'm just gonna leave it at that. But there's more to it that I dislike than that. But I'm not gonna get into all that on here. I don't want to be that guy. Um, yeah, Amari. I don't even know if Soto has reached his power potential. I think that dude, and I don't want to compare him to Ken Griffey Jr., but if you really look at him swing, his swing is natural. I mean, you watch, like when Bryce Harper was there, obviously Harper was a left handed batter too. Harper would like damn near throw his back out trying to swing the bat so hard to crush the ball. Soto's swing is so natural. All right, guys, I'll give you a few more minutes to discuss anything that you want, and then I'm gonna hop off of here. Um, oh, one thing I want to tell you guys, everybody that's on, and anybody that may watch this video, um, I really enjoy chatting with you guys and replying to your questions when you message me and everything. If it takes me a while to respond during the day, or if you message me at night, when I wasn't working, yeah, I stayed up late and I could chat with everybody and stuff. I actually go to bed now way earlier than I did then. And during the day, I am at work. So please, if you send me a message or something, don't think I'm ignoring you. Um, it's just, especially now at work, wearing a face mask and everything, and I have um, the Face ID or whatever you call it on my phone. My phone won't unlock with the mask on and all that stuff. So if it takes me a bit to reply to you, don't think I'm ignoring you. It's just I am back to work now. I get up earlier in the morning, um, so I have to go to bed earlier. And don't think that it's because, oh well, he's talked about the 300 subscribers, this and that. Don't think that, because that's not the case. It's just I am back at work now, and I will reply to you as soon as I have the chance. It's just harder for me right now with that being at work and having the mask on and all that stuff. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. Man, Amari, if power number peaks are around 26 to 32, Soto is only 21. He will be in like his seventh. Yeah, he'll be in like his seventh year when he hits 26. That is scary. I wear a mask too at work, and my phone won't unlock. I've tried it. It doesn't work. That's something Apple needs to get on, because if we all gonna be wearing masks and everything else, they need to get that face recognition to recognize a mask, because your phone won't unlock with a mask on. That's something Apple didn't think about, was COVID-19 and the face recognition. It does not work. Anyway, guys, I really hope that y'all have fun with this. I love getting on here, chatting with you guys, just talking about things, answering questions, just discussing the hobby. Um, it's fun. It's fun to just sit. I can't meet every single one of you. There's 25 people on here right now, and we all live in different places. This is awesome to be able to get on here, um, talk to you guys. Um, you know, Start off with discussing, the football and the current market and all that kind of stuff. But then just be able to sit here for a few minutes and reach out and talk to you guys. It's so much fun. It lets me wind down after a long day's work. Um, my wife enjoys getting on here chatting too. Um, so, we need to try that. I wonder if the face recognition would work with the mask on. But anyway, guys, thank you all who have already subscribed. Hit that like button. Make sure you turn the notification bell on, because sometimes I pop onto these lives and I don't post about it. So turn the notification bell on. That way, if you guys enjoy this as much as I do, you can get that notification, pop on. We can get in here and chat like we're doing tonight. Um, but yeah, everybody that is, if you haven't yet and you are a subscriber and you want to be entered into the giveaway, we are doing that this Sunday. Please make sure that you put a comment, watch the video. I got all of the instructions in the video. But we do appreciate you guys. And this has been so much fun. It's kind of unbelievable at how fast we've grown. But outside of those subscriber numbers, just knowing that you guys get on here when I get on to talk and we chat and have fun and everything, and the feedback y'all give us, that the videos may have helped you, or this, that, and the other, that means a lot. So I do appreciate it, guys. Please, everybody, stay safe, stay healthy. We're at the middle of May now. Hopefully sports will be back soon. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and jump off of here. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, I'm out.